I've said this time and time again. You cannot just start Nofap. You cannot just combat the urges. You can't just stop looking at porn. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to become a person who does not look at pornography. There is a radical and simple distinction between someone who is playing the part, pretending to do the things, and someone who lives and breathes the changes, someone who is uprooted and changed the direction and the trajectory of their life because they absolutely have to. A lot of you are trying to get over this addiction, but you've literally changed nothing infrastructurally. You're only addressing the things that you can see. You're only touching base on what is tangible to you, but you have to become someone different. You have to become someone else. So I'm going to start and end today's video with one of my favorite quotes of all time, which says that in order to do something you've never done, you need to become someone you've never been. And so then how I take that and apply it to Nofap is that in order to achieve those long streaks, in order to break past the cycle of failure, you have to change yourself. You have to become a different person. A lot of guys on Nofap make the mistake of trying to address everything that's on the surface. They try to tackle the urges, they try to attack just the general porn addiction itself, but rarely do they ever address or change their blueprint. A blueprint is a design or a technical drawing that builders use in order to showcase how something will be made. I want you to think of a blueprint as the foundation. Everything at one point started off as a blueprint, from the laptop or cell phone that you're using to watch this video, to the roof over your head. Everything starts off as a blueprint. The blueprint dictates with incredible accuracy the outcome of the project or whatever it is that is being constructed. If you were a builder and you've started construction on this building, you've got your blueprint already lined out, you've been on the project, you and your team, for about 6 months or so. And then for some strange reason, maybe because you're just a terrible builder, you decided that you wanted to change the structure or the outcome of the building. You would 100% have to change the blueprint. There is absolutely no exception to this. You could not start adding a few windows here or expanding and adding a couple of floors there without first changing the blueprint. And this explains exactly one of the biggest reasons guys are always failing. They're always relapsing on their Nofap journeys. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you that I'm relaunching my all men's support group. This is a private Discord chat where you'll have access to chatting with me on a daily basis, myself as well as other members of the group. In this group, we'll talk about Nofap, women, goal setting. You'll have accountability partners to make sure that you're sticking not only to your life goals, but to your Nofap goals. So if this sounds like something you would like to be a part of, I will leave a link for where you can join in the description below. So what do a blueprint and Nofap have in common as it relates to you on your journey? Well, like I said a moment ago, a lot of guys, they only tackle what's on the surface. They only tackle the things that are tangible. They might start working out a little bit more. They might find ways in which they can deal with the urges, breathing techniques, meditation. These are all good things, but what they fail to do is become someone else. Because basically, if you're doing all these things, you're exercising more, you're meditating, whatever, it's still you who's doing it. You're doing these things because someone else told you that this is what you're supposed to do. Let me explain that in a little bit more detail. There is a difference between someone who works out because it's nice, it's a nice thing to do, and someone who works out because they absolutely must, because it is an integral part of who they are. A lot of guys start adding all these things to their routine because they've seen someone else do it. They add it to their routine because they're just simply playing the part. But there's a difference between someone who plays the part and someone who lives and breathes the lifestyle. I've said this time and time again. You cannot just start Nofap. You cannot just combat the urges. You can't just stop looking at porn. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to become a person who does not look at pornography. There is a radical and simple distinction between someone who is playing the part, pretending to do the things, and someone who lives and breathes the changes, someone who has uprooted and changed the direction and the trajectory of their life because they absolutely have to. You are forever going to fail at Nofap. You are forever going to be a slave to this addiction if you do not become someone else. And I don't mean become Seth Alexander. I don't mean become Kobe Bryant or David Goggins. I simply mean to become the most optimal version of who it is you are. A lot of you are trying to get over this addiction, but you've literally changed nothing infrastructurally. You're only addressing the things that you can see. You're only touching base on what is tangible to you, but you have to become someone different. You have to become someone else. You have to become someone who does not look at porn. You figure out what that person's life looks like, and you start implementing that individual's rituals, their beliefs. You start adapting them and making them your own. That is how you create long-lasting change. There is no shortcut to this. Now, I've got a few tips and techniques that I deploy and have deployed that have gotten me to where I'm at on my Nofap journey. I don't have time to go over them in this video. If you want, I can chat with you about them in the men's group. Again, I'll leave a link for where you can sign up for that in the description. Otherwise, I will probably follow up on this in a future video. That's all I got for you guys right now. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope there's a takeaway here for you, and I will see you in the next one.